I was 36 weeks pregnant, standing barefoot on sticky tile, scrubbing frosting off the floor with paper towels while everyone cheered for my brother. He had just hijacked my baby shower with one announcement, but by morning, everything changed. My mom screamed from the kitchen. That was the beginning of the end for them. If you've ever been pushed aside, ignored, or disrespected by your own family, this story is for you. Tap that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because what starts as a stolen baby shower ends with a brutal, beautiful reckoning. You'd think your baby shower would be one of those rare days where everyone puts you first, where you're celebrated, pampered, doted on, and, bare minimum, acknowledged. Not in my family. I should have known something was off the second I saw the cake. It was supposed to say, "Welcome baby MIA." I'd even sent them the bakery receipt. But when I walked in, tired, bloated, and honestly just grateful I'd made it through the third trimester without falling apart, the first thing I saw was, "Congratulations, Stanford bound," written in bright red frosting. I blinked. I didn't get it. My brother, Nathan, was standing next to the cake with a smug grin on his face. People were clapping. My Aunt Jen was already pouring champagne. I looked around. No one noticed me. No one even noticed my belly. 36 weeks along, and I may as well have been a ghost. I whispered to my husband, "Did I miss something?" He gave me that helpless look, like he didn't know what to say without making things worse. Nathan raised his glass. "Everyone, thank you so much for being here today. I know we were all originally gathered to celebrate my sister's pregnancy." He laughed, like that was a cute footnote, "but I just got the email this morning. I'm going to Stanford Law." Cheers. Actual cheers. People stood up and clapped. I watched my baby shower morph into a college send-off like it was happening in slow motion. My mom kissed his cheek. My dad patted his back. They moved the gifts to a side table and replaced them with a Stanford banner someone apparently had in their car. I didn't cry. Not yet. I smiled. I sat in the back. I watched everyone drink, laugh, and pose for pictures. I even handed my brother a card. Yes, my own gift card meant for baby supplies. I gave it to him, because I didn't want to be the bitter, hormonal one. But when the night wound down and my husband and I stayed behind to clean up, I broke. I was kneeling on the floor, scraping dried frosting with a spatula. My lower back screamed. My belly ached. My husband offered to do it, but I waved him off. "I can't say anything," I muttered. "If I do, I'm the selfish one. I'll be the sister who ruined his big moment." He touched my arm. "You don't have to keep letting them do this." I laughed. But there was no humor in it. Then morning came. And everything changed. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed with swollen feet propped up on pillows, staring at the ceiling fan. Every slow, lazy rotation felt like a countdown to something I couldn't name. My husband slept beside me, exhausted, bless him. But my brain? It wouldn't turn off. I kept replaying it. Nathan's grin, the applause, the sound of champagne corks popping while I sat in the corner with a plate of cold pasta salad no one had remembered to serve me. My parents' faces glowed with pride. They didn't even look in my direction. And somehow, the worst part wasn't the hijacked party. It was that no one thought they had done anything wrong. It was like the whole thing, my pregnancy, the baby shower, my existence, was just a placeholder for whatever Nathan decided to do that day. So, in the early hours of the morning, when my baby kicked hard enough to make me wince, I got out of bed and walked to the kitchen. I was thirsty, sure, but something in me felt pulled, drawn to the room like there was unfinished business sitting in the darkness. And there was. It was a piece of paper, half crumpled, on the kitchen table. The same table where the cake had been yesterday. I thought maybe it was a grocery list or some party receipt left behind. I picked it up casually. Then I read it. And my stomach turned to ice. It was a printed copy of an email. But not just any email. It was from my brother's high school guidance counselor, dated 4 days ago. It read, "Nathan, unfortunately, we cannot in good faith support the accuracy of your application essay given your academic record. Additionally, as discussed, Stanford has already finalized its law school selections for this semester and does not accept undergraduates directly into the JD program without prior degrees. Please stop submitting falsified materials, or disciplinary action may follow." I blinked. Reread it. And then reread it again. Falsified materials? Stanford hadn't accepted him. They hadn't even looked at his application. The entire party had been a lie. He lied to everyone. My whole family had cheered, toasted, and celebrated a completely made-up story. He had used my baby shower to prop up a delusion. I sat down slowly, the paper trembling in my hand. And that's when I heard the scream. My mom. She had come downstairs in her robe, yawning, probably looking for coffee. But instead, she saw me holding the letter, and knew instantly what it was. "What is that?" she screeched, snatching it from my hand like I'd just threatened to burn it. But it was too late. The truth was out now. My mom stood there with the email crushed in her hand, her face contorted in a mix of panic and fury, not at Nathan for lying, but at me for finding out. "I can't believe you were snooping through his things," she hissed, her voice sharp like broken glass. I stared at her, stunned. "It was on the table. You left it there." "You shouldn't have read it," she snapped. I expected denial. Maybe a confused, panicked attempt to spin things. But I wasn't ready for her to double down. "You're about to have a baby," she said, as if that justified everything. "Why are you getting worked up over his good news?" "Good news?" I choked out. "It's a lie. He faked an acceptance letter. He humiliated me. On my baby shower. And you helped him." She paused for a moment, her expression tight, eyes flickering with something behind them. "Guilt?" "No. It was fear." "You don't understand what he's going through," she finally said, quieter now. "He's been under so much pressure. College rejection. Dad's been on his case. He needed a win. One day to feel like he mattered." That hit me. Because wasn't I supposed to matter? Did I not just carry life in me for 9 months? Did I not bleed, ache, stretch, and cry, fighting through every pain alone while they doted on Nathan's every whim? Was I that invisible? I stood there with my hands on my belly, my heart pounding in a strange mix of sadness and rage. "You let him steal my moment," I whispered. "And you clapped while he did it." She didn't reply. Instead, she turned her back on me, muttering, "Just don't tell anyone. It'll blow over." That's when I knew. This wasn't just a mistake. This was a pattern. And I was done being the quiet, accommodating daughter they could shove into the background. That morning, breaking point. I told my husband everything. He sat with me in stunned silence for a full minute, then leaned forward and said, "You know what hurts more than what Nathan did? That your mom expected you to stay quiet. Again." He was right. This wasn't new. Nathan had always been the golden child. When I got straight A's, they'd ask why I wasn't volunteering more. When he barely passed algebra, they threw him a "you tried" dinner. When I got pregnant, it was "Are you sure this is a good idea?" When Nathan got a traffic ticket, they blamed the officer for being too harsh. They didn't just excuse his behavior. They enabled it. And now, after all this, they still wanted to protect him. That's when something in me snapped. And not the kind of snap that leaves you crying. It was cold. Clear. Focused. I realized something. They wanted me to stay quiet because they were afraid of what would happen if I wasn't. So I decided not to be. I didn't yell. I didn't storm out. I waited. I let them think I dropped it. My mother avoided me that whole day, barely speaking unless she had to. My dad acted like nothing had happened, classic him. And Nathan? He waltzed into the kitchen that afternoon like a king returning from war. "Big day, huh?" he grinned. "People love the cake." I nodded. "They did. And you really pulled it off." "Right," he laughed, completely unaware of what I now knew. "Mom said Aunt Jen's taking the banner to hang it in Grandma's house." I smiled. Nice. He thought I was over it. He had no idea. I didn't want a public screaming match. I didn't want tears. I wanted something better, undeniable proof, and exposure that couldn't be swept under the rug. Because here's the thing, Nathan didn't just lie to our family. He lied to everyone. He posted his acceptance on Instagram. Dozens of people commented and DM'd him congratulations. His LinkedIn now said, "Incoming JD candidate, Stanford University." I knew Stanford hadn't accepted him. I had the email. But I wanted more. So I called a friend of mine, Ashley, who actually had gone to Stanford for undergrad and now worked in admissions outreach. We hadn't talked in a while, but when I explained what was going on, she was instantly helpful. She searched for Nathan's name in their system. Nothing. Not even a pending application. "Honestly," she said, "this could get him blacklisted from any grad school if they find out he's faking this stuff online. It's academic fraud." I thanked her.
And now I had the final nail in the coffin. But I wasn't done.
My mom's side of the family had this big family group chat, about 32 people. Aunts, cousins, second cousins, people who barely knew each other but shared memes and baby pictures. The same group that had blown up during my baby shower with "OMG congrats Nathan."
I posted one screenshot. Just one.
Camera with flash Nathan's fake acceptance letter side by side with the counselor's warning email. Since we all celebrated yesterday, I thought you should know the truth. My baby shower was hijacked for a lie. I'm done staying quiet. Then I turned off notifications. It took less than 10 minutes. My phone exploded. Missed calls. Furious texts. DMs from cousins who had never messaged me in their lives.
Some were stunned. Some were supportive. But some were angry. At me.
My Aunt Karen texted, "Couldn't this have been handled privately? It's family." To which I replied, "So was my baby shower." Another cousin messaged, "Why are you trying to ruin Nathan's future?"
I didn't respond.
Because Nathan was doing a fine job ruining it himself.
My mom tried calling. 5 times.
Then she sent a long, guilt-laced text about airing family business and embarrassing us in front of the whole family. I sent back, "Imagine how embarrassing it was scrubbing frosting off the floor while people cheered for your lying son."
No reply. But I wasn't done yet.
I forwarded the counselor's email and the screenshots to the Stanford Graduate Ethics Committee with a formal inquiry, just in case Nathan did try applying again later. I included links to his social media posts falsely claiming admission. They responded 2 days later. "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We take academic integrity and impersonation of Stanford affiliations very seriously. This matter will be reviewed and documented."
Translation? He's blacklisted.
Forever. You know what happens when someone finally stands up and says, "This is enough"? Other people start standing up, too. The morning after I dropped the screenshots in the group chat, I was bracing myself for another wave of family guilt tripping. I thought they'd all circle the wagons around Nathan, like they always had.
But instead,
I got this text from my cousin Leah.
"I'm sorry for not saying anything before."
He did the same thing at my graduation, told everyone I cheated on my final just to get attention. I've hated him ever since. Then another message from an old family friend.
"I'm proud of you. You deserved your day."
I always knew Nathan was full of it, but no one ever dared say it. And then the most surprising message of all.
From my grandmother. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry. I should have spoken up yesterday. I saw your face and said nothing.
You're strong, and your daughter will grow up knowing her mother didn't let people walk over her.
I love you." I cried when I read that.
Because until then, I hadn't realized how starved I was for validation. How much I had trained myself to accept being overlooked, underestimated, unseen. I had accepted the crumbs they threw me and told myself it was a meal.
But now, I was done playing that role. Nathan's Instagram post vanished.
His Stanford JD candidate bio disappeared within hours.
Comments flooded his last post.
Wait, this was fake. Dude, really? You hijacked your sister's baby shower for this.
He made his account private the next day.
From what I heard later, his girlfriend dumped him. She had no idea it was a lie either. He tried to claim the email was taken out of context, but by then, it was too late. Screenshots had already made their rounds, and people had formed their opinions. His little Stanford moment had gone viral, for all the wrong reasons.
My parents, they went quiet. For weeks. No apology. No explanation.
But silence speaks, too. Their silence told me exactly where I stood.
And for the first time in my life, I wasn't crushed by that.
I felt free. Because once you see your worth, you can't unsee it. A week before my due date, I hosted a small gathering, just close friends, my husband, and the few family members who'd reached out with real support. We had cupcakes, baby games, and laughter.
Not a single Stanford banner in sight.
At one point, my friend Ashley, the one who helped expose the fraud, came over with a small wrapped box.
Inside was a framed quote that read,
"Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes."
I kept it in my daughter's nursery.
Because that's the legacy I want to leave her. Not silence, not guilt, not shrinking to keep others comfortable.
But honesty.
Strength.
Dignity.
2 weeks later, I went into labor. It was a long, messy, beautiful blur. My husband was right there, holding my hand through every contraction, whispering encouragement even when I screamed at him just for breathing too loudly.
And then, MIA was here. This tiny, perfect human. Wrinkled. Red. Wailing. And yet, I'd never seen anything more beautiful in my life. The second she was placed on my chest, I broke. Not because I was in pain. Not even from exhaustion. I cried because in that moment, I knew I'd done the right thing, not just by standing up to my family, but by reclaiming my identity before she arrived. I didn't want my daughter to grow up watching me shrink myself to keep the peace. I didn't want her to inherit the silence I had lived under. I wanted her to learn that truth matters, even if it costs you people who once called themselves family. We didn't announce her birth in the family group chat. We didn't invite my parents to the hospital. And Nathan? He didn't even know she was born until weeks later, when my cousin posted a photo from the low-key, family-only sip-and-see we had at our house. I didn't do it to punish them. I did it to protect our peace. Because some people shouldn't get front-row seats to your joy after proving they'll only show up when the spotlight is theirs. Weeks turned into months. My mom sent one text after MIA was born. Can we put this behind us? We miss you. No apology. No acknowledgement. Just another expectation that I'd swallow everything and move on like always. I didn't reply. They had already shown me who they were. And I finally believed them. My brother tried texting, too. Can we talk? He wrote once. I thought about it. But instead of answering, I sent him one photo. MIA, sleeping peacefully, wrapped in a honesty that read, "Future class of 2045, anywhere but Stanford." No words. Just truth. You know, people think revenge has to be loud, explosive, destructive. But sometimes the most powerful revenge is peace, knowing that the people who once dismissed you, overshadowed you, or made you feel small no longer get to shape your story. Sometimes revenge is having a life so full of love, dignity, and self-respect that they can't touch it. They can't take credit for it. They are not even invited to witness it. And that's the kind of revenge that lasts. If this story gave you chills or reminded you that you don't have to stay silent to keep the peace, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. And tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed or delivered? We read every one. Speech balloon. Until next time, stand tall, speak your truth, and never let them dim your light.